What's up, everybody? It's Ben here. I've had a few people ask how I refurbish some stuff, so we're going to refurbish something today. This is my refurbish box. It's kind of where I put all of my crap that I acquire, broken controllers, dirty shit if I buy like a lot or I find like a really good deal or something of something that's kind of rough. Also, I just want to plug this. My game here, expansion, is now available, flifegames.com. Anyway, we're done. That's available for pre-order. Anyway, let's continue. So we're just going to open this box and find something to refurbish. I already have all of the tools and stuff I'll want, so I'm going to go over that process. So like I said, this is kind of my box. I have these games in here. Oops, sorry. I have all these games in here because they are not complete. Like, I have a Sims GameCube manual, but I don't have it on GameCube. Well, actually, it's right here. But this is what's wrong with this manual here, is it's not the right manual. I don't know why this manual is big. I think it's for a foreign copy of The Sims. I don't know how I got that. This is in here because this doesn't have a GameCube case. I need to get a replacement. So I do have a copy of The Sims for GameCube. I don't have a copy with this big case. Anyway, I've got other things. I have Knight's Contract for PS3, which is actually a pretty rare game. I need to get a case for it, but I can't find one. And then I've got just some other games that are not complete or whatever. This one's complete. Why is this in here? What the hell's wrong with this? This looks fine, right? Something's wrong. Oh, right here. That's a no-no. So that's in here. So there's stuff in here that I either want to like get rid of or whatever. So I'm gonna just this is just a bunch of like extra 360 cases, and we're gonna get those out of the way because that's boring stuff. I already have a video on my channel on how I clean those. I've got this thing, which is just some PlayStation 1 games that I don't care about. I don't know how I got these either. Like I said, I kind of just acquire a bunch of crap and then throw it in here. I've got some loose discs and a bunch of loose Game Boy games in here. If you guys want to skip ahead and see what I actually refurbish, go for it. These are all Japanese GameCube games. I'm not sure why these are in here. I've got to figure out why, because they are complete. There's a reason, though. There's definitely a reason, and I don't know what it is. No, I really don't know why. I'm going to set those aside and inspect them later. As you guys know, I'm very picky with my collection. Like, I'm not going to have these kinds of cases in my collection. That's a no-no. Huge no-no. And then I've got like these, and that I don't have a manual for, so that doesn't go in the collection. Two Worlds I don't have a manual for, so that doesn't go in there. It also needs a new case. And then I've got a bunch of cables and stuff. These aren't necessarily bad, but like this cable's fine. It just needs to be cleaned because I know that it's kind of nasty. I've got a bunch of controllers. That's what we're gonna do today. I've got a Game Boy Color, which is, I already refurbished this, but it's not turning on, so I got to figure out what the tech issue is, but I already opened it and cleaned it. Like, you can see that it looks pretty nice. It's very nice, actually, but I need a battery cover, and I need to figure out why it's not turning on. PlayStation 2 controller, some GameCube cords. In the way bottom here, I've got some loose Vita games that I need to get cases for. I'm going to keep those aside so I can order some of those. But let's do a GameCube controller. I'm going to do this nice orange spice GameCube controller. And I'm going to show you my process and how to. I've done many of these before. They're kind of a pain in the ass, so I guess it would make a good video. The other cables, what I do is I just grab some paper towels. I put some water on it, or maybe some dish soap, depending on how bad it is, or some isopropyl alcohol, and do that whole thing. It kind of depends on what the situation is. So I've got a whole bunch of supplies here. I've got my tools, I've got some paper towels, and this container has isopropyl alcohol in it. I also have the container right here so I can put it on stuff if I need more or whatever. And then I've got just some hot water and dish soap, nice and simple, and some toothpicks and some Q-tips. And that's everything right now. So we're just gonna get started, and let me just make sure let's move this up a little bit. And I'm going to lower this a little so it's a little closer so you can see it better and see what I'm doing. I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way too a little bit. So I've done some of these Refurbish videos before, and you guys really liked them, especially that how to clean game cases video that did very well, and I know you guys liked that. So I'm gonna do some more of these refurbishing videos. And there we go. Finally found the right size there. And then I just put those screws in there. This is actually an authentic Japanese controller. My friend Sean gave me this with his orange GameCube and all those Japanese games you saw, which was really super cool. He gave it to me for my birthday. He got it when he was living in Germany. And one more. Okay, take this apart. There we go, and all the pieces go everywhere. Put that in there. Man, this is disgusting. Pull those off, pull those off, pull that off, and that pops up. Okay, take all these buttons, everything, throw them in there for now. Then we switch out this for this. I like my controllers to be spick and span before I add it to my collection, and if I can't get it, then I sell it or I give it away, because I am the pickiest collector you'll ever meet. I've given away so many consoles and stuff because they weren't up to standard. Especially original Xboxes. I seem to get a lot of those because I collect so much original Xbox stuff. So I'll mod them and give them away because a lot of people like the modded Xbox. These are always a bitch to get out. Take that off. I don't put the springs in these metal pieces in there. So I've had issues doing that before. With them like getting wet and bending from the hot water. I don't know why that happens, but it does. And plus they don't really need much anyway. So we'll just alcohol it, wipe it off. Fancy cups that I have just to keep things separate. And this is probably totally unnecessary, these little metal pieces, but I'm letting that soak anyway. You'd be surprised how dirty some of this shit gets though. It's crazy. So I just like to clean everything. So we clean those. And we can do this while we wait for the stuff in there. Oh, I forgot about that piece. What is that piece for? I don't know, I'll figure it out later. I'm gonna move that aside. And so this is what I do for the wires. We're gonna put this over here and I will wash that when this stuff's done. What I do with the wiring is I take a paper towel like this and I get like a line like that. I put it this way and I wrap it around the wire, grab the wire here and just pull down. And it's kind of hard to see, but there's a lot of dirt on there. You'll see it more once I dry it too. And then on the end, I just kind of wipe around the edge and the tip of it. There we go, the plug's nice and clean. Then we pull back again to dry it, like that. And look at that. Isn't that nasty? Do it again, and there we go. It's clean, wire is clean, which is good because those get really gross, as you can imagine. So on this, it's really hard to clean this part. So that's what the Q-tips and the toothpicks are for. And so I dip the tip of the Q-tip, or I mean of the toothpick, and I kind of scratch off or scrape off the noticeable stuff on the circuit board. I'm careful around the contacts, but as you'll see, actually you can't see this, I'm sure, because it's so small. There's a little tiny clumps stuck on the circuit board that happens just from use. Flip it over. I don't really see anything. Overall, this was pretty clean already, which is nice. See what I mean about being picky? Now we have these analog squares, so take the Q-tip and I go around the edge. And this is with the isopropyl alcohol. And then on top, make sure you get that metal too. The metal can get really gross. The Q-tip's kind of gross. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you in a second. Then I take the other side of the Q-tip, the dry side, and kind of run over it again. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty bad. And then just get another Q-tip and do the same thing on the other one. And you got to be careful on this analog stick because it's hanging right there from some contacts. Luckily this one's pretty good shape. What you can do too is push the analog different angles so that way you can get in there on all the spots, which I'm going to do over here too because I didn't. Just make sure you don't pinch the Q-tip in there and you won't get any of the fuzz from the Q-tip. There we go. That's pretty solid. So that I would say is finished. And once it's put together, I can get a better grip on it. I'll probably do the wire again because I know that's not fully clean because the wires are horribly gross. And I'm not exaggerating, they get really bad. So now we do these pieces, which is pretty simple. You just take them out and dry them. One thing I do is I take a Q-tip or a toothpick, I keep doing that. And like on here where the C is, I put it in the C and I just kind of scrape off the dirt in the letter. And then you've got a perfect C. And yeah, and that's, give it a rinse there. Dry that off. And we've got basically a brand new looking C-stick. But yeah, the C-stick's fantastic now. I blow in there a little bit to get some of the little bit of water out, and that's good to go. We get next pieces. These little ones are easy. You can usually just dry them off and they're good, but. And if you want to, you can take your paper towel like corner and stick it in there as far as you can. It's nice, clean. And that's dry. Beep-up. What I did is I just went to my sink and rinsed off everything. I still have to rinse off those screws, but that can wait. But look how amazing that is. Looks awesome. That's the controller part. That looks awesome. So here's the one trouble piece that you're gonna have with like GameCube controllers specifically, and it's the same with older consoles, is yellowing on this stick. It uses that old material that like yellows pretty easily, and there's not really much you can do about it. This has a little chip there, but luckily that won't be visible once it's put back together. But you always want to wipe underneath because those areas are always gross too. So that's where people's thumbs go, and people are nasty. So scrape around the inside edge, scrape some more, because that's just how gross this person was. Just kidding. This happens to like any controller. There we go, that's much better. These are nice and easy because they're flat. And bam, done. There we go. All right, I got it. And remember, always take your toothpick and scrape the letter so it's indented and usually pretty gross. And the edges. Sometimes you gotta knock that water out, you know? And it actually works. Get that A clean. Start button. D-pads are disgusting, just FYI. These need a lot of scraping. They're really gross. What you can also do is buy, if you have a bunch of controllers to do, buy replacement pieces in bulk online. But I like to have OEM, and a lot of people don't sell OEM in bulk. And if they do, they're used, you know, because OEM is old. Pretty sure Nintendo is still manufacturing D-pads for GameCube controllers, you know what I mean? And these are easy because the hole in there is really big. Shove like a paper towel in there, usually soaks up everything. Same thing for this guy. Now it's the buttons, or I mean the screws, but luckily they're super easy to dry because they don't have, you know, like holes and crevices and stuff. All of them, I'm gonna dump this water out and make sure that I got them all. And I'm gonna be very careful what I do in case I didn't get them all. And then I just take all these screws that I separated from the water, put them on a dry sheet, and then just fold this over, press down a little bit, make sure the water gets soaked up, and then they're good to go. All right, now we're good to put it back together and see how it looks. Talk about a pain in the ass. I hate doing these, and I have to do it again. Once it's in there, it's like in there. You know what I mean? Yep. And it doesn't like click or anything, so it's really hard to tell if you have it on there correctly. There we go. All right. Sticks are on there. We take this and we flip it over. And we put all the buttons in. And these all have notches, which is nice. They kind of tell you where they go if you're not familiar or you can't remember or whatever. It's pretty nice because they fit right in. There we go. That goes there. This guy and this goes down here. They all have notches, which is really nice so you know what way they go. Go on there like this, and that's where those black screws go. Oh, I should move this more in frame, sorry. So these go right on those, and they kind of lock in real nice. And what's nice is once you screw these on, the triggers are now, like they can't really move too well. So then they're locked in. So once you get them put back together, which is a giant pain in the ass, it's super easy to screw these back in. But trust me, once you get these back on and screwed in, you're home free. This part's the worst though. I hate anything with springs though. All right, perfect. Now we have to attach this with the cord correctly in here. This is another pain in the ass, is the cord being in here, right? There's a little spot for it to rest, but you gotta kind of squeeze it under there. That's in there, and kind of hold it without pressing on any of the buttons. Take this upside down and hope. And again, you may have a lot more trouble than I just did, flip it over before screwing it on and hold it really tight. Test everything. There you go. You want to hold it tight because you want to emulate it being screwed back together. So then what I do is I start with these screws right here. They're super easy to access and they're really good center points, and it keeps your C-stick and D-pad in place. Go over those a couple times to make sure they're really screwed in there. The last thing you want is a loose controller. It sucks because then you basically have to take it apart, realign everything. Last one, and we're good to go. All right, there we go, perfect. Last step, cleaning this cable one more time. Wash your cables, for real. I feel like it's an overstep with I've seen a lot of refurbishers not do this. Look how gross that is. That's the 4th time I've gone over this controller. Man, that's so gross, but I think I'm good now. I'm gonna dry it. And I'm not gonna test this controller because I know it works, but recommend testing after you're done, especially if it's your first time. I've done it a million times. But yeah, there we go. And the last thing you can do, grab a toothpick. You don't want to do this with a Q-tip because you don't want like fuzzies getting in there. But you can go right in the port if you want to and just kind of scrape a little bit. Just kind of be careful around the contacts, but scrape a little bit in there. There's like a bunch of little holes so you can stick a toothpick in. Blow it out and you should be good to go. But yeah, that's like a mint GameCube controller now. It looks really nice. There you go. That is how you refurbish a GameCube controller. And if you want to see me refurbish anything else from that box, or just anything else in general, I can buy something and refurbish it. But yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of the final result. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.